and we are live streaming.
All right, well, hello everyone. My name is Courtney Shard and I work with the Nebraska Farm Bureau Foundation. Today, we're going to learn all about pigs. As you can see, we have a pig farmer on the call with us and he's ready to teach us all about the pigs and the care he gives for them every single day. On this virtual field trip, I will share information with you about pigs. I'll ask the farmer a few questions and we're going to take some questions from you. Hit like to let us know you're following along and drop a question in the comments if you have one. We'll be answering those questions throughout our time together today. So this is my friend Farmer Lucas and his pig. When a pig is born, it is called a piglet. And piglets are born in a litter. And for the first 3 weeks of a piglet's life, they drink milk about once every hour. At 3 weeks old, when the piglets weigh about 15 to 20 pounds, they are weaned and moved to a nursery barn. That's where Farmer Lucas is today. Farmer Lucas, can you tell us a little bit more about this pig?
So this pig is about 5 weeks old. He's one of about 1,200 in this barn, and he is around probably about 25 to 30 pounds right now. He likes to hang out with his friends, likes to eat food and drink water, and get a nap a day away.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing us about the pig. Pigs in the United States are raised to help feed people all over the world. They provide us with things like pork chops, sausage, pepperoni, and bacon. A pig grows from 2 pounds to 250 pounds to serve people as a source of food. The way they grow has a lot to do with the habitat that they live in and the people that care for them. And so, as I had mentioned, this is my friend Farmer Lucas. Farmer Lucas, can you tell us how long have you been caring for pigs?
Say that again, Court.
How long have you been caring for pigs?
So my family has been raising pigs for almost 6 generations, but me personally, I've been doing it for about 10 years now on my family's farm.
Awesome. So why did you decide you wanted to be a pig farmer?
One, I love the animals. They're really fun animals to interact with every day. They make amazing products that we're able to use, whether it be cosmetics or the food that we eat. And also, I just like the animal above all. And I went to college to understand more about the animal and how we can use the resources that they create to better take care of the world around us. Reducing, reusing, and recycling is really big on pig farms. We care for the people, pigs, and planet. So our pigs eat the corn that we raise out on the fields on our farm. And in turn, we're able to make food for people all around the world and then use their manure to help fertilize our crops, to help grow more corn and soybeans and continue the cycle of reduce, reusing, and recycling.
That's awesome. So pig farmers do a lot with the planet, but what are some of the day-to-day job duties of a pig farmer?
So a lot of my day-to-day duties are checking in on everybody, making sure they got ample fresh water, our wells and other systems are working properly to both feed them, water them, keep them warm. Like today, it's snowing outside. I turn the camera around. It's snowing quite a bit, but right now in the room, you can see I'm wearing a t-shirt because it's about 85 degrees. So I make sure that all those systems are working, that our pigs are happy and comfortable, and that they're producing great food for everyone to enjoy and being healthy and nutritious.
That's great. Thanks for sharing all of that. So as you guys can tell, Lucas is inside of a pig barn today, and this is what we would call a pig's habitat. And pig habitats have always changed as pigs were found many years ago. It's said that pigs first set hoof in North American soils when Christopher Columbus had pigs with him in 1493. Do you guys think that pig farmers raised pigs the same way in 1493 as they do now? The answer is definitely no. In 1493, pigs roamed wild and ate whatever they could find, and they often got sick and no one knew how to make them better. Pig farmers have changed pig habitats over time to provide better care for the pigs. Lucas, can you give us an example of What has helped pig farming change so much?
What has helped pig farming change so much?
Yes.
So definitely using these climate controlled barns definitely has helped us take better care of the animal, providing for their every need so they're as productive and as happy as possible. One of the biggest things is that we're able to protect them from other predators because they are a prey species. Their eyes are on the side of their heads, so they are food to other animals. So this barn allows us to protect them from predators. We're able to monitor who comes in and out. So, right now, everyone's nervous about COVID-19. So we're able to keep our pigs happy and healthy inside of a barn away from diseases or from outside sources that potentially could get them sick. So out in the wild, there's lots of different things like that. So this is a way that we're able to keep them happy and healthy.
I think that's a good way to kind of take our first Facebook question that we have. And that question is, has anything at your farm changed due to the coronavirus pandemic?
Well, that's a really good question. Farmers practice something called biosecurity every day. So we're making sure that we wear different clothes going from barn to barn so we don't accidentally take one thing from the outside and bring it in. We try to keep it as clean and as healthy as possible. One of the biggest things that has changed us is where we take our animals to market right now. Different packing plants and butcher shops are closing down due to the quarantine. So we just have to be smarter about where we're taking our animals. And then above all, we're making sure that our employees are safe as well, that are working inside, because we don't want to miss a day interacting or doing chores. So we're doing the same thing like everybody else, washing our hands, social distancing, wearing a mask. These are all things that we do to make sure that we're healthy and on top of our game to take care of these guys every single day.
That's a lot of stuff that goes into taking care of pigs, and pig farmers sound like really good caretakers. So that leads us kind of into our next thing that we wanted to talk about when we think about basic needs of a pig. So when we think about basic needs of a pig, think about the things that you need to be taken care of. Pigs have the same basic needs as humans, and those are food, water, air, and shelter. And so these basic needs are a part of the essential care farmers provide for pigs to provide the safe product for us that we eat. So Lucas, can you tell us, what do you feed the pigs at your farm?
That's a great question, Courtney. At our farm, we feed them a combination of ground corn, soybean meal, and when they're smaller, they actually get a little bit of sugar because they're growing animals and need lots of good energy. And they also get a milk byproduct that allows them to grow big and strong and have great bone structure and be able to support the animal well. So we put a lot of different vitamins and nutrients into that as well, making sure that they are well cared for and have great body systems. And we're getting maintaining them at peak performance all the time. So again, they grow healthy and strong. And we never really want to skimp on the diet, just like all of us. We want to grow happy and healthy. We do the same exact with our kids. So we grow them up very healthy.
That makes a lot of sense that you'd want to take care of the pigs. And so my next question is, how do you actually feed the pigs on the farm?
So I hope you guys can kind of see. Let me see if I can point out like a weatherman here. You see these tubes here. We actually have big bulk bins that sit to the outside that hold this ground feed product that the animals are able to consume. And so every day we come in and we fill up the feeders where you can probably see the animals at, these kind of square things here. And we fill those up with feed, and the pigs come up and they're on a whatever you want to eat, kind of a buffet style. So they're able to eat when they want, go down, take a nap, go play with their friend, go grab a drink of water, take another nap. It's a pretty luxury life, enjoyable life. So they can eat whenever they want through those bulk bins and through the feeders.
That's awesome. So kind of to keep addressing the basic needs of a pig, we've now talked about food. The next thing I'd like to talk about is water. How do you make sure the pigs have water to drink?
So we have many backup systems within our barn to make sure that we always have a, a clean, abundant amount of fresh water for our animals. We actually have 2 wells on our farm. So if one goes down, we got another backup, so they got good water. We also make sure that we're paying attention to how many gallons of water they're drinking every day. So we know that everyone's staying happy and healthy, and they're getting a good, accurate amount. And a part of the chores is making sure that all the equipment, the waterers that they're drinking from, are working properly. You probably can hear a little bit of a in the background. That's them going up and pressing their nose against the waterers, being able to get water.
That's great. So we've had a few questions about some of our video that we're seeing. The weather seems to be slowing down and making us a little choppy. So we just want to say thank you again to everyone that's following along with us today. But we have some more Facebook questions that are coming through, and it actually ties into this piece that we're going to talk about with the basic needs of a pig. So we talked about food and water, and now we're going to talk about space. And so someone on Facebook asked us, how many pigs live there, Lucas?
So in this barn, we get in about 1,200 piglets, and we grow them up to about the size of 50 pounds. And then after they're to about 50 pounds, we move them to another barn that's adjoining this one, and they grow up to market size. And we always try to make sure that the animal has ample room because being smushed isn't comfortable for anybody, and it puts more chances for other things happening. So we try to keep them spread out, comfortable, because a relaxed, comfortable pig is a happy pig, which in turn makes great products for everyone to enjoy. So space is a very big issue that we're always paying attention to and making sure they're happy and comfortable.
That's great. It's really good to know that pig farmers are making sure that their animals have enough space to live in. So the next piece I kind of want to touch on is this last basic need that we need to talk about. So we've talked about food, water, space, and the last basic need of humans and pigs is air. So how do you make sure that the pigs have clean air to breathe?
That's a really good question, Courtney. So animals, I should also add, are very social animals. They like to have other pigs around them. So they don't like lots of space. They always like touching each other, messing with each other. So they're always kind of close to each other, whether we like it or not. But one of the best parts about them is too that air quality that you talked about. So we always have fresh air coming inside of the barn, much like you guys have an air conditioner or a heater and you hear that fan and it's bringing it in. We're doing the same exact thing. We're always bringing in clean, fresh air, and we're exhausting the hot, moist air from them breathing it off. So we always have good airflow going in. They actually are suspended above a pit. So that's where their droppings go into. And so we're always removing any of the smell that might be on that pit. So it's always fresh and a really nice environment for these animals to be inside of.
Thanks for sharing. So thinking about what you were talking about, pigs like to be social animals. A question from Facebook we have from Robin is, are pigs very intelligent? How do you know?
They're an animal, but I would say that they're very curious animals. I always know that I can tell a pig's a very curious animal by the way that they're able to undo gating. Sometimes they'll be able to get their nose underneath the pins and be able to open up a gate and then I'll find one. Or sometimes they like to crawl up the gate when they're really little. So they're always curious animals, interacting with each other and enjoying their environment that they're in.
That's awesome. So another question we have on Facebook is from Sarah, and she wants to know, can the pigs get COVID-19?
No, at this time, they cannot get COVID-19. There's no scientific data showing that whatsoever. But as pig farmers, we take all the great precautions to make sure that our food supply is very healthy because, again, American agriculture is really strong. We have very good precautions in making sure that our workers are staying healthy, our animals are staying healthy, and that food quality that's on your plate is 100%. We don't have to worry about that in the United States because we have protocols to keep people safe and healthy, and above all, our animals, our plants, everything that we interact with as safe as possible. So at this time, there's no scientific data that shows pigs can get COVID-19, but our focus right now is making sure the employees that are taking care of the pigs are always healthy, so we can continue to do that job, as well as the truckers, as well as the butcher shops and packing plants as well. So they're staying happy and healthy, so we're able to keep food moving, so it's on people's shelves. So we don't have any empty grocery store shelves.
I think that's a really important thing to note from Lucas. Pig farmers are always trying to take care of pigs, people, and the planet. And this really leads us into talking about a pig's environment. And you can tell from where Lucas is standing, he's not outside. And so, Lucas, my next question for you is, why do you raise pigs inside barns?
So it kind of goes back, kind of goes back to the beginning that we were talking a little bit. Predators, we're able to definitely keep them safe of predators out of the elements because pigs are, originally came to the United States outdoors. I'm pretty sure they're going to like staying indoors a lot more because it's warm inside here right now and it's cool in the summer. We always constantly have feed and water, and we're actually really able to control that and make sure those animals are eating every day and drinking every day. We're really able to observe them and making sure that they're well cared for and healthy. And above all, pigs like to mess things up. So being inside of a barn where they're not being able to really root the ground and be in a hole and those kind of things. So it's a lot easier for handling of the animal, a lot safer for employees in doing that as well. So it's kind of a culmination of humanistic abilities to interact with the animal and do a very good job, as well as animal comfort and care being the first priority.
Definitely. So we have a question from Facebook, and Lisa would like to know, do you have an outdoor pen for the pigs in the summertime?
No, we do not. We actually have powered ventilation in our bigger barns that the animals are in when they are growing to market size. We have curtains that open up that plenty of fresh air, sunlight, and everything can shine right through. But during the winter, we close those curtains so they're protected from the elements, and so they're warm and cozy. We don't let them outside because, again, we're trying to protect them from potential diseases from like different birds and raccoons and things like that we really don't want them to interact with our food supply. We're able to keep them safe on the inside. And that's
Great.
actually, I don't know if it's an adult that's asking the question, but that's how we're able actually to cook our food at a lower temperature and be able to enjoy so many more great characteristics of pork because we use barns like this. There used to be a thing that would be inside of the pig potentially if they're grown on dirt. So this actually allows us to enjoy so much more of the delicacy that is pork and the great recipes by cooking at that lower temp because we are using these professional, amazing barns, taking care of the animal the best way possible.
So kind of to add to that, Lucas, we have another question from Facebook from Beth, and she would like to know, how do you keep your pigs clean?
Pigs are actually really clean animals. Not a lot of, everyone thinks pig pen from, Peanuts and those kind of cartoons, but no, actually, pigs are very clean animals. They like to perform their business in one area of the pen, and they don't like sleeping there, and they don't like eating there. So they keep themselves very separate, and they're very clean animals. Above all, having the pit that holds their droppings, we're better able to use that for our fields, but also they're not having to be around it. It's able to be out of the way so the animal can be clean and healthy.
So I think that kind of ties into when you bring up cartoons and pigs, it makes me think of a lot of different images in my head. We actually had a question from someone that wants to know, Oliver wants to know, do you feed your pigs slop?
I do not. I do not feed my pigs slop, contrary to belief. Like I said, we feed them a diet of soybeans, ground corn, and at this nursery phase, we're feeding a little bit of sugars for energy because they're little guys, as well as whey product, which is a milk byproduct for them to grow big and strong, as well as vitamins and minerals to maintain their diet in good performance.
Great. So I think sometimes pigs get a bad reputation for being stinky, smelly animals, but you've cleared my mind today and made me see they're not exactly those kinds of animals. But we still have a question on Facebook from Gina, and she wants to know, is raising pigs a disgusting job?
No. I like to shower a lot and I like to be somewhat clean. It's a pretty nice deal. There's showers in the barns. We got all the amenities. It's not really, I don't have to be out in mud and muck when it's muddy outside. I drive my pickup up to the concrete. I get a walk on concrete, keep my shoes clean, change into my barn shoes, and I keep really clean. So it's actually nice. I don't have to really worry about getting dirty. Shower after, and it's a pretty nice life. So I think a lot of people's minds would change when they come into a pig barn, because I hate to say I'm kind of a high maintenance farmer, and it's a lot nicer to work in a pig barn than out in the lot. So I'm pretty blessed with what my family has set up.
I always love hearing about your stories, Lucas, and how much you love being a pig farmer. And so we've talked a lot about how pigs live inside, but pigs depend on a lot of things that go on outside. And I know you mentioned this at the very beginning, but can you explain to us what the nutrient cycle is and how you reuse the manure in the pig barn?
Yeah. So when we see barns or we see lagoons that are holding that manure, it's really important. It's Miracle Grow times 1,000. It is very, very great plant food. So when we're driving down the country roads and we see bean fields and especially cornfields, we're actually able to, we don't have to use petroleum-based fertilizers to put out on our fields. Not that they're bad, but we're actually able to use something that is homegrown and right down the road. And we use this manure and we apply it to our fields. We actually inject it because it allows us to lock that in with the soil content and really create some great plant food and a great bed to grow some great corn and soybeans. So we're actually able to feed those animals. So when we think about it, we're taking that animal, we're feeding people with it. We have other products that come from the pig that we don't eat, such as insulin is one that people use. Then we're taking that manure, we're applying it out to our fields. We're letting that corn use those nutrients from the pig, and the cycle starts all over again. So it's a really green process. We also use a lot of other cool technology in the barn besides reducing and using. I hope you can see our lights. All of our lights are LEDs. So we're really trying to lessen the amount of electricity that we're using. Our wells are all controlled by computers. So we make sure we're using just the right amount of water, not too much, not too little, so we don't waste any. We also use computers to make sure we set the perfect temperature. So our heaters aren't constantly running. We're able to maintain a great condition for the animal, but also we don't have to use more resources. So we're trying to be very smart about what we're given. We try to leave as little as a footprint as possible, which is pretty small if you look at the numbers, and we're able to create a great product that a lot of people enjoy.
As I've mentioned before on this video, I love learning from Lucas and all of the things he has to share. And if there's a message that I could share that I've learned from Lucas over the years, it's that taking care of the environment is a priority for pig farmers. Seeing how he uses that land as his livelihood, and he's really all about protecting the pigs and people and the planet. And so we have a couple of more Facebook questions that we're going to take, but we are nearing the end of our time together. So the next question I'd like to ask it's from Carrie, and she wants to know, do the pigs ever get sick, and how do you take care of them?
So yes, pigs can get a cough. Pigs can have an upset stomach. So our first effort is to try and make sure they have their own space so they can recover. And if we do need to intervene, with a pharmaceutical type product to make them feel better. We make sure that we follow all the label instructions, do the proper protocol, and make sure we're really making sure that animal is happy and healthy and comfortable. Animal care is number one, so we want to make sure that these animals are feeling good all the time, and that also they're safe. So people don't have to worry about things getting into their food system like other countries. We know what we're doing is right. I eat the same animals that come out of my barn, just as the people down the road or the people across the country. I care about every single one of these guys in here in the meals that your family are having. So I want to make sure that what you're eating is safe. I take a lot of pride in that people don't have to worry about, oh, is this gonna make me sick? No, it's not, because I did the right job the first day and I made sure that that animal was well taken care of and didn't have to worry about a disease. So that's why we do all these protocols. That's why we spend the money on good feedstuffs, and we monitor the water and we monitor the air, and we keep a good temperature. Just like you keep your head warm and your feet dry, and you stay out of trouble. We try to do the same for our pigs so they stay happy, healthy, and productive. And if we do have to intervene again, we make sure that we follow all the labels to the exact T, so no one has to worry about anything.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing about the care that you give the pigs, Lucas. The last question that we're going to take today is actually one of the most popular questions that's come through. I've seen a few people sharing it. Everyone wants to know, Lucas, do your pigs have names?
No, they don't, because I take care of them, but if I had to remember every single one of them, I think I'd probably forget. But I call them pig 1, pig 2, pig 3. They're all my favorites, so it's easy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us today, Lucas. I'd just like to remind everyone and thank you for joining our virtual field trip as we got to see pigs with our farmer Lucas. Pig habitats have changed over time due to a lot of technology advancements, and a pig's habitat includes adequate food, water, shelter, or cover, and space. And Farmer Lucas and pig farmers all across Nebraska and the United States are the people that provide those things for the pigs. The land is Lucas's livelihood, and protecting it takes care of pigs, people, and the planet. So thank you everyone for joining us today on our Facebook Live.